Hey guys, welcome at Aloha's Tips and Tricks video. I'm Tim Berkout, shop manager at Aloha Surf.
And I'm Trevor Humphres from Studio Trev, and I'm going to teach you how to wax your surfboard.
Alright, so Trevor, we've invited you here today at Aloha Surf because I've seen your boards in and out of the water, and especially the wax job on them, they were insane. I of course wax my boards in a type of way which I think, okay, this works for me and it's nice. But when I saw your boards, I really was like, wow, those bumps are insane, and it really felt like it was almost grip tape-like, kinda.
Yeah.
So that's why we've invited you here to talk a bit about your wax job and how you do it.
Yeah, so this was taught to me by a dear friend, and I had the same thing. I saw his wax job and I was like, I need that. Because I come from a snowboard and skate background, so I really want my feet to feel like they're planted and secure. Especially when you're duck diving or when you're popping up, you don't want to be sliding around on your board. And it seems like it's such a simple task, but there is a correct way to do it, and I want to show you how to do that today.
Cool.
Okay, so we have two different waxes. We have a base coat. That's a tropic, so it's really hard wax. And then we have a warm. So it's really important. This is step number one, that the tropic, the base coat, the hard wax, goes on first, and you build up a base, and then you put this on top. So the warm wax will stick to the hard wax. Okay, so we're gonna use the edge of the wax, and we're just gonna make diagonal lines across the surfboard, okay? So use the edge of the wax, make your first diagonal, and then I don't know, maybe 6 centimeters. Maybe that's a bit bigger, but. And then I'm just simply going across. Okay? And then now we're going to go back the other direction. Okay, so now we kind of have our structure laid down. But what's really important here, and this really helps create the good bumps, is go over those exact lines again. So I usually go over them 3 times in total. Now the other direction. Okay, so now this is our base structure. This is what it should look like. And here, this is where sometimes people will transition now to the warm wax, but you don't want to do that yet. You want to build some small bumps with your base coat and then do a small layer of the warm. Okay, so now we're going to take that same base coat, we're going to put it on its edge, and we're just going to start making circles over those lines. What's important here is that you don't push too hard. You don't want to smear the wax. You just want to slowly lay it on top of that structure that you've created. And doing a good wax job on your surfboard, what's really important to remember is that it takes time. So to wax your surfboard, it's okay if it takes you a half an hour, 45 minutes, because then the structure will be there, and then when you go surf, you just have to throw on the top coat just for like maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and then you're good to go. But this first initial wax will take some time, and that's completely normal. Okay, now if you look in close here, you can see that we're already starting to create these little bumps here. This is where the wax is met on where we crossed, and this is what will form those nice grippy bumps in the end.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm still using that edge because I find if I just lay this flat, it's not really laying down much wax, and I feel like it's just kind of smearing a bit more than I want, so I really like to get it on its edge. And another tip here is that I'm not changing where the wax is. I'm using that same edge because what will happen is that this friction will make this wax warm, and then it will spread easier on your board. Not really getting into the science now, but Another good tip is to switch the directions, because if you're only going this one way, you're only laying it on one side. So switch it and then go the opposite grain of the board. Yeah, Tim, so it's important that you don't go too quick to your top coat. A lot of people go too soon, and then when you lay it on, it just smears. Yeah. So you really want to build up the bumps with the base coat first. Yeah, but
you really do it like in the evening or
don't do
before
it
as well.
Don't do it. Yeah, dude, that's the key, man. You don't want to be doing this.
If you're in a hurry, you want to get out there, then it's...
Yeah, then this is not the technique to use.
But this looks sick. I think this...
That's your bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's your base. Okay, so now that we've laid down a good base coat, now we have those bumps established. Now it's time to move on to our warm or our top coat. And with this, no special real technique. I use about the same thing where I just put it on its side and I just go in circles. And this is really important not to press too hard, because this is really soft wax, and if you press too hard, then you'll smush those bumps and ruin all the hard work that you just did. And the same with the base coat, I'm going in this direction. So clockwise, and then I'll switch it around. Go counterclockwise. This just helps get all the edges. And there you go. Now you have a fully waxed surfboard ready to get in the water.
Sick, man. I don't think I've ever had these kind of bumps on my shortboard, but yeah, looks super sick.
Yeah.
Maybe one thing that's also good to tell, especially for shortboarders, is that if I'm duck diving, I personally do like a little stripe a little bit higher, because if there's some algae in the water or your board gets a bit slippery, you might slip with your hands while duck diving, and of course you don't want that to happen. But that's a personal thing. Like I like to do it. I think you like to do it as well.
Yeah.
But some people, they don't really see the point in it. No. But that's something personal.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I also really like doing it. Like some people will stop like here, but I like going a little bit more towards the edge, just because when I pop up, maybe my hands aren't perfectly in the center. Like maybe sometimes they're over to the edge, and I just want my hand to feel like it's stable. Yeah. So I'll just go a little bit more on the rail.
Yeah.
Another good thing to point out is that the base coat, I probably used about half of it. Compared to the top coat, I only used maybe a quarter. Yeah. So it's really important, like I said, to lay down a good base and then just top it off with the top coat.
Yeah. And then maybe if you do another session, you can just put a little bit more top coat on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you won't touch the base coat again. It's just now you just laying on a little bit of the top coat. Yeah.
Perfect.
Every surf, yeah.
Another important thing for wax to keep in mind is that wax is temperature based. So today we use sex wax, but all other types of wax are good, of course, as well. Just make sure that you bring the right temperature wax with you. So the base coat, they always say on the wax itself what the temperature is. So this is 26 degrees and above. That means water temperature.
Another good thing to point out is that when you're waxing your board, do it in the shade. You don't want sun on your board when you're waxing, because this wax will just melt off. And same with leaving your board out. Like if you got to get ready in the van, flip your board upside down so your wax isn't exposed to the sun, because if it is, it will melt within like 5 minutes.
So guys, that was it for today. You've seen Trevor putting on the base coat and the top coat and all the different types of temperature wax that we have and that you should use in different types of water temperatures. Thank you for today, and we'll see you next time. Cheers!